Hello everybody, welcome to the Sena TV Web English Show, where you'll have the opportunity to learn and practice your English. But this time, it will be specialized English in different subjects, such as gastronomy, TV production, finances, business English, tourism, art, health, fashion, and much more. So you'll not just be learning English, but you will also be learning about very interesting topics and situations you may encounter in your daily life whenever you travel to an English-speaking country, or whether you need to work with foreigners coming from all over the world that without doubt will communicate with you through the universal language, English.
Hoy, capítulo 3, bilingüismo, inglés.
Control room, can you hear me? Okay, ready to record? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, on air, you're live. Hi everybody and welcome to our English tip for today. This lesson is part of the National Learning Service Sena bilingual programs and it is made just for you. Today you'll learn some basic terms that you'll find useful when you're studying or working in TV production or TV broadcast journalism. For example, do you know what the word IFB stands for in television? IFB means interrupt, fold, or feedback. IFB is what we call in Colombia el apuntador. This little device is either a transparent or a black earphone that maintains you connected with the people in the control room, so you can receive all of the instructions, like for example, for you to know when you need to start talking to the camera. It is often used also when you are on air. Just for you to know, the control room is what we call in Colombia el máster. Our full in Colombia is called FT in the United States. For example, FT means full track. This means that both the audio and the image will be appearing on the package. But wait a minute, what is package? The package is what we call in Colombia la nota o el reportaje. It's the whole story put up together. A director es el director. A producer es el productor. Assignment editor es la persona que se encarga de escoger los temas del noticiero según su importancia y relevancia ante la audiencia. To cover a story means cubrir una historia. A correspondent es el corresponsal. A stand-up es un falso directo. A live transmission es una transmisión en vivo. A reporter es el reportero. Broadcast journalism means noticias o difusión en televisión y radio. Breaking news son las noticias de última hora o de último minuto. Citizen journalism es periodismo ciudadano. Online journalism son noticias en Internet. Eyewitness reports son las descripciones o testimonios de lo que pasó relatado por las personas que estuvieron en el lugar de los hechos. Stay tuned to TV Web Sena so you can learn more English. Bye everyone, and thank you, Philip. Hey, our director is telling me that we are going on air like in 10 minutes, so be prepared, so get ready and change. Go. Fast.
Estás viendo bilingüismo, inglés. Capítulo 3.
Have you ever wondered what it takes and how many people are required to produce a big TV show that has been recorded in many cities? Our first guest, Daniel Cruz, is someone in charge of the production of one of the best primetime shows in our country's TV programming. Today, you'll have the chance to discover everything that takes place behind the scenes of Colombia Tiene Talento.
I began, like everyone else, as a producer assistant, and I've worked as a writer, I've worked as a head of content, and then I moved on until I became an executive producer. The executive producer is the head of the show. He's in charge of everything. The task or the job of the executive producer is to bring the best content to the show for the budget you have. Pre-production is where you plan everything you're going to do. During that time, we find the people that's going to work in our team. We find the locations that we're going to use in the different stages of the show. We find the talent, and we plan the structure of the show. A normal day of recording, I do most of my job on the phone. Obviously, I have to be on location because it's always better to be there to make the best decisions. As an executive producer, what you're doing most of the time is making decisions and solving problems. For television, I think we have a big team. We work with more than 120 people. We have a big team of sound, a big team of art, a huge team of production, because production is, in a show like this, logistics is very important. Production always has a heavy workload. If you work on production, you have to be on set first and you leave last. And that's the most, I would say that's one of the most difficult jobs on television. Then we also have content, which is a smaller team. I like an analogy that someone said one day. Content is the brain of the show, while production is the muscle. And you need a good marriage between those two. We always have an art department, and it has a lot of tasks. The first task an art department has is to help us create the set. Then during the show, in the daily basis, they are the people who have to find what contestants want. And it's not easy, especially a show like this where we have singers, dancers, magicians, and everything in between. Something else that is really important on this show is the sound. Because the people who's on stage and our judges, our talent, has to hear that show the same way you are hearing it in your house. I'm constantly in contact with our talent, so they understand what we want, so I can understand what they want, what they're seeing, and we can do the best show. You never tell a judge what to do. What you do is, when you're doing casting, you find the best judges for your show. Judges that contrast, judges that don't think alike.
Amo que me dejen con la boca cerrada cuando hay resultados.
I think the best tip I could give to someone who wants to be a producer is to at least try for a moment to do every work, every job in the job line of television. So when you have to direct your team or to guide your team, you'll do it with knowledge. When you're watching your show on TV and you feel that what you're watching objectively is good, that's, I think, the best reward. The company I work for, it's a company that has been working with formats for more than 10 years. We're always planning on bringing new formats. We're always looking for the new thing. We're always looking for the best shows that we can bring to the country.
We'll be right back after this short break with more English for television. This is Sena TV Web. Don't move.
Do you know what an MOS stands for? MOS means man on the street. So to go out and get some MOS, you will need to go to the streets and ask people about the reaction to a certain subject that makes part of the newscast that day. For example, go out and get some MOS on what people think about the abortion law.
Have you ever watched the TV series Los Caballeros se las prefieren brutas or the Colombian movie Bluff? Alessandro Angulo, our following guest, is a renowned producer and director in the Colombian film and TV industry. He has also worked as a director of photography and as a film writer. Today, he'll tell us some tips and the requirements a production should fulfill in order to be attractive to an international market.
1, 2, action!
Started studying film and television, and then I started working as a lighting technician. And then I went up to the ladder, working then as an assistant cameraman, then as a cameraman, then as a director of photography, and then finally as a director and producer. Here in Colombia, I work with Producciones. And we've done, a lot of commercials and a couple of TV series and films. To work in this field, the first thing you have to do is to speak very well English or other languages, because this is an international job. I mean, you're always dealing with people from North America, in Europe, and the rest of South America. So it's very important to be able to communicate very well with them. The second thing is, of course, is to know the métier, to know how do you work in this field. The third thing is to enjoy it very much. When we start working on the series Los Caballeros las prefieren brutas, the first problems that we had was how can we sell this series to an international market? Because an international market is not used to telenovelas. So actually what we did is that we start producing the whole series with the structure of an international TV series, which is different than a telenovela. You have to have the best quality that you can deliver. The standards of international quality are pretty high.
Esta es la peor desgracia que le ha podido ocurrir a esta institución.
Working as a director and as a producer is fantastic because every day is different. I mean, yesterday I was in Girardot shooting a commercial. Last week I was in Medellin shooting a documentary that we're doing on Pablo Escobar. And 2 weeks ago I was in Cartagena shooting a promo for a television program. Meanwhile, I'm here in Bogota right now. I'm working in the sound and music of a film that is coming in July. The biggest challenges that you face as a director or as a producer are really being able to compete in the international market. You're competing in terms of production, to shoot and do business and do productions around the world. The best thing that has happened to me since I graduated from school is that I've been working and shooting films and television and commercials almost every day, and that's fantastic. I would love never to retire from this job. I mean, I would love to be 100 years old and still shooting a documentary like this one, or a film, or whatever. I mean, I love this job. There are some differences between working in a film, working in a TV series, or working in a commercial, let's say, or a music video. I mean, each product, you have to approach it in a different manner, in a different way. Each product you have to really understand first who is the one who's going to see that project. The set is the place where I feel that I'm more creative, where I feel that I'm just doing what I really like. I mean, that it's create moments.
Usted lo que tiene que hacer es empezar a... Soy gay.
Lo que no tenemos es tiempo. Aquí no ha pasado nada. Aquí no ha pasado nada.
Our following guest is an expert in photography for TV and films. Mauro Vidal will give you today a little class for you to learn how to illuminate a person for television. Pay attention to these important tips that will help you have an excellent production. And be careful because you don't want any shadow to appear on camera when you shoot something for TV.
A cinematographer is in charge of the visual part of any audiovisual project. You're trying to create a certain feeling to an audience from a script. You have to create a visual atmosphere, and that's the job of the cinematographer, or also called the director of photography. The cinematographer is the right hand of the director. When lighting a scene, you first have to know really well what the scene is about. Is it a mysterious scene? Is it a happy scene? Is it an action scene? That creates certain patterns that you have to create with lighting and camera. That's one thing. On the other hand, you have to consider where the characters are in this particular point of the story. And then you have to look at certain technical issues like the location. Is it a day scene or is it a night scene? In this case, the first thing I want to choose is a position. which position I'm going to use for this light. What works better for Marta's face, and in this case, let's try this way. I'll put it here, and I'm going to put it direct. This is a very direct light. So when I put a light, the first thing I want to decide is where to put the light. Depending on where I'm putting the light, I'm going to create a shadow. Once I decided the position, the next thing I want to create is what type of light I want. Is it a hard light? Is it a soft light? Next thing I want to think about is two different factors: color and intensity. How intense, how strong I want this light, and what color I want on this light. With color, I can play around. Let's say I want a colder feeling for this scene, so I can put a filter color on the light, and you see that everything becomes bluer. Let's say I want to do, or if I want it warmer, I can put a warmer filter on the light, and it becomes a different atmosphere. Those are the three elements I consider when I'm setting up a light: the position, the quality of the light, the color, and of course the intensity. As a cinematographer, I have to work with light and with the camera. First thing I want to do is to decide a frame, what shot I'm going to get for this particular scene. So in this case, for example, with Marta, let's say I want a middle shot. Part of lighting someone is creating kind of a 3D atmosphere in a media which is a 2D atmosphere. So what I want to do with lighting is to create a separation between her and the background. So I can create separation through different ways. One way would be to add a backlight, which is, some people call it the rim light or a hair light. So you can see her hair, especially her hair, is separated from the background. So that's one thing I like about having this second light. The last thing I'm going to do will be to add a little bit of fill, as I said, because it's too dark for this part of her face. So I want a soft. I have a soft light already here, and I'm going to add a little bit of very, very soft light here, a bounce, so to fill up a little bit. So we have a main key light, a soft light, a background light, and another light for the back, all right? So you don't need to use all the lights all the time. It depends, again, on what atmosphere you're creating. English has really helped me in my career. I have had a chance to study from many books who are written only in English. I have attended certain festivals where most people speak English. So it's been a really useful tool to speak a second language.
We'll be right back after this short break. Don't move so you can see what post-production is like within a TV production company. Stay tuned.
Do you know what a news anchor is? TV news anchor is a person who presents the news from a television studio, reading the teleprompter usually on a regular basis. It can also be known as a news reader, TV presenter, or a TV host.
Have you ever imagined everything that must be done after you shoot or record something for TV? Andrés Barragán, the post-production director of Teleset, will tell us why sometimes it can't go immediately on air. So you'll have to level the audio, correct the color, edit the images, and convert it into an excellent audiovisual package, experiencing like this, with this edition, the magic of television.
The post-production is the space where the people, the technology, and the concept is put together to make the show. Step number 1, ingest. Ingest is the place where we receive all the shooted material. When the material is complete, they send it to the post-production facility, And people like Catalina, say hi.
Hi.
And Harvey, say hi. Will label properly and prepare it for the editing. For example, this is the show, Dr. Oz, episode 123. And then she will describe what she is seeing on the shot, which is a B-roll of Luz Mary, a woman walking on the street. Most of the shots begin with a slate, which is a board the production crew holds saying the following information. It says which episode, which scene, which take, the name of the director. All this information is very important for Harvey to localize that file inside the computer. So now let's see step number 2. Let's go to an editing suite. Let's meet Camilo. He's an editor.
Hello. Okay, right now I am editing a promo for one of our shows called Colombia Tiene Talento. I receive the full episodes from Login and I import them into my project, and I have to select the best parts of each act. So I mark an in point and I mark an out point, and then I throw it to the timeline.
This is color correction room. If you notice, it's darker. It needs to be that way. The lights has to be dimmed down in order to the operator to feel relaxed. His eyes must pay attention only to the screen. What we can do here in the color grading is to alter the original color of the shot. So if I use the ball, I can control two of the things precisely. I can make her screen red, or if I'm not, I go green. So I can control how much darkness I want in my shot. I can make it lighter, or I can make it darker. So this is the color grading room. Meet Jose. Jose, say hi.
Hi, hello.
Jose is an audio and music engineer. This is a full mix that contains the music, the ambience, and the sound effects. As you can see, there are many tracks, each one of them containing a different thing. Using this interface that it's called the Pro Tools, he can mute or listen just one of those channels. That is a complete scene, and it's being made here in the sound mixing booth. That it's only the voice, it doesn't have the lip sync, so it will be recorded here. So the actress will record her voice on a microphone like this. This is a professional microphone that will capture her voice. We have this pop-up here in order not to allow the wind that comes from her mouth to hit the microphone, so it will not sound like. And the final stage is the output. Let me show it to you. Here you will see that Enrique, say hi Enrique.
Hi.
He will see it in real time, watching the image that comes out from the computer and the image that goes back from the VTR. So now that our show is done and ready to be delivered to our client, we put it in the box and send it. That's it. That is post-production process. I hope you enjoy it, understood it, and next time that you see something on the screen, now you will know a little bit more than how it's made.
Well, that's all for today. We have reached the end of our show, and we hope that you will continue to join us on this journey through the English language in each one of our different subjects. Remember, this is Sena TV Web in English. See you soon and have a nice day. Bye-bye.